our focus is going to be well-rounded practice. And I'll have to say I think it's a rather invigorating practice. So pace yourself. And we're going to finish up our work on the gut. All right. So Arlene and Ed, any comments about that?
Yeah.
Oh, happy you're proceeding with that.
Yeah. No, it's not.
So a lot of us have, issues one way or another with the gut, whether it's things moving too slow, too fast, IBS, just reflux, whatever it is. So yoga addresses all parts of our body. So we want to be able to, offer some intentional poses for everything, right? And the coolest thing about yoga is if you just do a well-rounded practice, pretty much you're going to cover everything anyway. But the mindfulness, it's important to understand the mindfulness and the intention behind some of the poses too. So that's why I'll point out when these are going to be specifically for your gut, so you can do extra of those during the week if you need to. I want to show you just a quickie picture because I learned how to do this. I feel like so high tech. So this is your gut, obviously. And just a reminder, we're going to spend most of the time on the colon. So you got your esophagus that feeds into the stomach. The stomach then is on the left side. That feeds into your small intestines, which if you stretched out your small intestines, they would be the length of a minivan. Woo. Then goes in from the small intestine to the cecum, which is the largest part of your large intestine. And hanging from the cecum, do you see what's there? Appendix. Anybody lose their appendix in their life at some point? That's where it is on the right side. Hopefully y'all still have yours, but if not, it's not, either way, it doesn't really matter. Then, so what I want you to remember about the colon is that after it leaves the small intestine where most of the digestion occurs, it goes up on the right side into it's called the ascending colon. And then after it travels up from bottom to up, it goes across from right to left across the transverse colon. And then once it gets to the left side, it goes down in the descending colon. So it works clockwise from below your belly button to the right and then to the left. So when we do our belly rubs, keep it clockwise and understand why you're doing that. So if you can kind of help that digestion of the large intestine, okay? Now, most importantly with the large intestine is it takes a quart of water a day. It absorbs a quart of water a day. So hopefully you're drinking at least a quart of water, and a quart isn't even enough because you also have insensible losses of breathing, of sweating, of urinating, everything else. So that's why you need so much water in the course of the day. And we're not talking, coffee and milk and soda and all that stuff, really water. So if you're not a water drinker, if this quart of absorption in the colon doesn't give you a little kicker, I'm not sure what will, because when your colon doesn't feel good, your whole body feels kind of cruddy. Now, why are we talking about this with yoga? Because yoga it can help our digestive health, because within the neurovascular system of the colon is what's called the enteric nervous system. And your enteric nervous system of your gut has as many neurons or nerve cells as your spinal cord, all right? So it's called the second brain. And it senses the hormones. It has the same neurotransmitters as the brain. It senses when you're upset. It senses when you're anxious. And it sends messages to the brain. But what it also does is it stimulates that sympathetic nervous system, which if you guys don't know what that is by now, I've not done my job. That's the what? Fight or flight response, right? So it senses that anxiety, sends messages up to the brain to stimulate that nervous system. And then what happens to your gut? Shuts down because your sympathetic nervous system says, I got bigger things to worry about than digesting food right now. So if you have a lot of constipation or a lot of slow digestion, or you're chronically upset or chronically anxious, it's going to affect your gut, okay? So yoga, we have learned, can help us tap into that parasympathetic nervous system with, if you remember, it's rest, relax, and digest. right? So that's why it all ties in together with yoga. So important. So our practice today will be one of the sponge like we did last week. As I said before, I don't ever say yoga releases toxins, but what it does is it stimulates blood circulation. It compresses organs. When you increase the inner abdominal pressure and the inner thoracic pressure, right? It creates a compression where you're going to get squeezing, wringing out of those organs and tissues. And then as you lengthen and open up, it's like the sponge, it sucks all that fluid back in. All right. So it helps with circulation and just helping out the internal organs. And so it's good stuff. So our practice today will be one of working the sponge, compressing, lengthening, awareness, noticing, calming, all that good stuff. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Anything else before we get started? If you ate a huge breakfast, just be mindful. Don't compress too much. Okay. I was hoping you kind of took a light breakfast or had an early breakfast. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Oh, baby. And why am I just being so? There we go. This shouldn't be this hard, but it is every time. Maybe if I mute you all, that'll help. Come on, baby. Play with me. Play nice. Last one. Yeah, you breathe. All right. Well, Marie, you're or John and you guys are my models today. Okie doke. Let's get started in a comfortable seat. And when I say take a comfortable seat, I want that to become Pavlovian for you almost, meaning that you're transitioning from whatever you were doing before to your yoga practice. So take a comfortable seat means I'm here, I'm safe, I'm in this place. I'm going to shift my weight side to side to get rooted and grounded into this space. And let's take 3 cleansing breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through an open mouth to really just transition. Also, it's important to practice from a place of present moment because we create stability by being in the present moment. So if you can look around and see those 3 things that you can see, hear those 3 things you can hear, and feel those 3 things that you can feel as you are taking the cleansing breaths. We have arrived. So we begin to transition from the busyness of our lives into this place of rest, relax, and digest, being open to whatever happens in our yoga practice today, allowing, inviting, being open to. And then breathing now in through the nose and out through the nose as you begin to scan your body and notice first, how is your belly feeling this morning? How's the gut health to start with? So it's nice to know where you are and where you'll be going and where you are in between. So just if you have a sense of fullness or bloating, or if you feel light and well digested today. And if you're feeling full and heavy in the belly, just being mindful not to compress too much, but go to a place where it feels comfortable for you. And that beautiful belly that rises and falls with each breath. If it helps you to get the feedback by placing a hand on the belly as you breathe in, it will gently rise. So what happens is when you take a full, rich breath in and that chest cavity expands, the diaphragm flattens out and pushes the belly contents forward. That's why your belly pooches out, makes space. And then as you exhale, you'll use those little core muscles to gently draw back in to help lift the diaphragm back up to release all the air out of your lungs. Just a beautiful way the body works together, inhaling the belly softens and rounds. Pelvic floor even lowers a little bit to give more space even for that belly contents. And then as you exhale, everything lifts back up. Belly sinks in. We've learned that lengthening the exhalation will tap into that parasympathetic, that rest, relax, and digest. So if we can practice from that place, if you can then take a full breath in, and then just allow a nice, slow, even exhalation, twice as long as your inhalation, if that's available to you today. Lovely breath in. Pause at the top of that breath for a few counts. And when you feel ready, long and slow, gentle exhalation. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my mind. 2 more full breaths in. Long breath out. Take a moment now just to notice that transition. The mind body, physical body. And then just take the legs out long. Rock them back and forth. Get a little bit of movement in the legs, in the hips. Let the feet be floppy. And then we're going to come to your most beautiful and perfect Sukhasana. Easy seated pose, which I just don't think is all that easy. So if you do not sit crisscross, that's fine. Bring the soles of the feet together. But what I'm really looking for is length. I'm looking for your spine to come out of your pelvis in a really, really elegant way. So if that means you need to grab an extra blanket or an extra cushion, please do so. But if the knees can be slightly lower than the hips, or just that you feel that you've got some wiggle room in your pelvis, all right? Because when we're, what we don't want to do is be in that posterior pelvic tilt where we're crunching up in the core, all right, in the belly. So lengthen up out of that and let all that stuff inside have space, all right? Take the biggest breath you can, really fill up the lungs, fill up the belly, and then a big and one more big breath in. And as you're exhaling, draw that belly in and roll into a cat. So now we're going to crunch everything in, squeeze everything out. All right, causing that abdominal pressure. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Draw the belly in. Think about all those intestines being nice and the sponge being crunched. And then as you inhale, lift and lengthen and just feel it. Can you feel the release in the belly? Can you feel the blood kind of going whoosh, opening up? Lift the heart. Take the eye gaze up. Even reach the hands back if you want to make more space. Really stretch out through that abdominal cavity. All right, now let's move with the breath as you exhale into cat. Get a little squeeze of the sponge. And then as you inhale, lift and lengthen, open up, stretch nice and tall. Can you feel the blood? Can you feel the pressure changes within your belly cavity? Can you feel that? Interoception, knowing what you sense from the inside out, using your enteric nervous system to pay attention and notice. Use that second brain. It's there speaking to you. All the subtleties of the belly. And then just a couple more. Exhale. Grounding and inhale, lengthening. Good. And then come back to a nice neutral spine. Take your left fingers out to the side. Reach the right arm up. And see if the shoulder's okay. If you need a little bit of spin it, moving around to the shoulder, just come to fingertips to shoulder if it's not there yet. And go ahead and crescent over towards the side. Now here, I'm going to divide the belly into quadrants. So here I'm mirroring. So this is going to be my left side, upper and lower quadrant of the left side. So we're squeezing that side. This is where your cecum is, right? Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong side. Your left side. This is where your belly is, or your stomach is. You're squishing in through the stomach area. Now turn the torso toward the earth, and now we're focusing more on the lower quadrant. So bring your hand down to your knee. All right, curl in a little bit, more of a cat, really squeeze that left lower quadrant. And then as you inhale, lift and lengthen, allow the sponge to absorb. Big breath in, exhale, round, curl in, squeezing that left side. Inhale, lift and lengthen. This is our descending colon, right? This is what's going to take it down to the poop chute. Exhale. As a nurse, there's words that I just don't even worry about saying. I hope you don't get offended, but you know, if you've met a nurse, you know, they're just a little bit weird like that. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Good, stay here for just a moment. Give another little squeeze. And then turn the torso back to neutral and lift back up. And then just a couple torso circles here. Spinning around. Let's give it a little bit of attention all the way around. Go the other direction too. So these are bigger torso circles, or with a little bit more of a straighter spine. And let's go the other way. Or get tall and lift that other arm up. Again, if the shoulder's not ready, fingertips to the shoulder as you kind of, I'll say, crunch over to the right side. Now here is the ascending colon, the colon that goes up, all right, in the base of the cecum hanging down in the appendix. Now turn the torso toward your belly and bring that left hand onto the right knee and squeeze in like a cat, squeeze in. Inhale, lift a little bit up. If this hurts your lower back, then just don't crescent quite so much. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Good, we're squeezing that right lower quadrant. Good. Inhale, right where the stuff comes out of the small intestine and goes into your large intestine on this side. Last one, squeeze, give it an extra little squeeze. And then lift back up. And let's make some space. So reach the arms up overhead, make some space in that belly. Big breath in here. And then lower the hands down. Hands across the shoulders, lift the elbows up, draw the belly in and up, and just a gentle washing machine. So if you look at yoga for gut health, most of the exercises and postures will be twisting. But in gentle yoga class, twisting is sometimes precluded by, you know, low bone density of the spine. So you have to be really, really careful and find a nice balance for yourself. Not too much of this, not too little of that. Moderation, right? Just like with your diet. One more time each way. I was teaching a nutrition class, and I had a woman stop here, lift and lengthen, and then walk your hands forward. Just hinge forward a little bit. We're going to do a little bit of cat-cow with the hands forward. So chin to the chest, round the back. And then inhale, lengthen back up. Just a couple of these. And she said, you know, you can say all this stuff and teach us all this stuff, but my grandma had it right. You're coming back to grandma wisdom, right? She said, just not too much of this, not too little of that. And that's about the truth of it, right? Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, curl in. Nice. All right, pause here for a minute, get that little squeeze. Then walk your hands back, press back up, lengthen, roll the heart back. All right, let's extend the legs out. Shake them out. Rub the knees. We're going to do a little boat pose because a lot of core or belly integrity you need to work the core muscles as well. All right, so hernias, all those things where you're not engaging before you lift increases that risk of hernia. So keeping the core strong will help reduce that risk of hernia. So let's come to boat pose. All right, so your feet are in front of you. Hands are going to go under those knees. Roll the shoulders back. All right, draw that deep core muscle in, your transverse abdominis, the deep belly muscle. Hinge back, lift your toes up, stay here for a moment, really feel the core working. So hinge back and forth a little bit, make sure you got it engaged. And then if you like, lift one foot and opposite arm. You can keep holding on to the leg with the opposite arm and then try the other side. Opposite arm leg. Keep with that if that's where you want to be today, but If it feels right, you can really engage that core, lift both feet up. You can keep holding on with the legs, or you can reach the arms out to the side or up overhead. Some of you may be able to stick your legs up long. Not me. One more breath. Good. And let's release that. Okay, let's come to tabletop. Pad your knees. Meet in hip circles. All right, so let's just churn the torso, churn the insides, churn the hips, and do a little bit of cat-cow while you're in there. All right, so when you're coming around one side, a little lift into a cat, and then sink the hips down, give a little arch of the back. Doesn't have to be dramatic. It's just a little bit of cat-cow with your torso, your hip circles here. Go the other direction. You've gone one way, go the other way. All right, now take your hands a little bit ahead of your shoulders so you take the weight off of your wrist. All right, spread the fingers wide and press the hands into the floor. So push the floor away from you. Use that energy to draw the belly in and up. Lift the back ribs up into cat. And then as you exhale, sink, stretch those belly muscles, give the belly some space. Exhale, draw that belly in and up, round the back, tailbone lowers toward the heels. And as you inhale, sink the belly, lift the head, lift the heart, stretch. Couple more with your breath. Exhaling, rounding. Inhale, sink. And one more. And come to neutral. Put the tops of your feet down and take your knees out wide. We're going to shift our hips in the direction of child's pose, being mindful of what your flexion is of your knees. Go wherever you need to go. Stretch the arms forward and come up on spider fingers. So press the fingertips into the mat and lift up through the armpits. So this is an active child's pose. The belly should be between the thighs. Let it relax. Let it just hang out. This is a compression on the sides of the belly. So slowly start to walk your hands shoulder distance apart to the left, keeping the head in the direction between the arms. And now you've got your belly pressing on your left thigh, right? A little bit of compression here. All good stuff. But you didn't even think about child's pose as being a belly compression exercise. Come back to center. And then take it the other direction. Now we'll kind of give a little massage on that right side, mostly the right outer quadrant. Good. And come back to center again. And let's lift back up to your tabletop. All right. I'm going to do a thread the needle. So I got this right hand here. We're going to extend the right arm out to the side. If it feels okay to lift it up towards the sky, there's going to give you some twist. Then you're going to bring the palm facing your face. Take your palm, the palm of your hand past your left wrist and thread it through as you lower your right shoulder in the direction of the floor. The head is not going to rest on the floor. The neck can't take that much weight. So let the hair graze the mat. A little twist here of the belly. Find your breath, easy breathing. And then we're going to lift and lower out of this 2 more times. All right. So inhale, unthread. Take your right arm to shoulder height or lift it up toward the sky if that feels okay. And then as you exhale, sweep the hand and thread it through. Shoulder comes in the direction of the floor. And then one more time, inhale. Reach that arm out. Exhale, thread the needle. Very nice. Beautiful. Okay, nice, Katie. All right, come back to table. Wag the tail, realign that spine, and we'll go to the other side. So starting with that left arm, take it out to the side or up, depending on what your shoulder's open to today. And then thread that hand past your right wrist, bring the shoulder in the direction of the earth, hair grazes the floor. Pause here for a moment. What happens if you shift your hips back a little bit? Can you feel your belly press into your legs? A little compression there. All right, as you inhale, lift back up, lift and twist. Exhale, shift, thread that needle. And then one more time as you're ready. Stretch, reach, and thread. Pause, push back the hips a little bit, see if you can massage that belly, smudgy, just a little bit, and then come back to your neutral. All right, now this is, we're gonna go prone on the belly. So if you don't like that, roll over onto your back and draw your knees into your chest. Those of you who are willing to go onto the belly, I have a blanket under my hip point so that I don't arch my back. That's also gonna add increased compression from my belly into the floor, which is what I'm looking for, okay? So please, if you keep that blanket under your hip points, under your belly, if you are not getting on your belly, please lie on your back and draw your knees into your chest and get compression into your belly that way. You're going to stack hand over hand, rest your forehead on your hands and bend your knees, rock your knees side to side, get a little release in the lower back. If you are on your back, just draw the knees into the chest and rock side to side. Breathing in, breathing out, good. All right, now it's just a simple pressing of the belly into the mat. So if you're on your back, press your legs into your thighs, hold it there for 15 seconds. On your belly, just press your belly into the floor. And then release. We're going to do just a couple, maybe 5 or 6 baby cobras. So place your hands by your heart space, roll your shoulders back, lengthen your legs down toward the short end of the mat. Forehead is resting on the floor, and you're going to press the pubis into the earth and just lift up halfway into a cobra and exhale, lower back down. Do 2 or 3, do 5 or 6 of these if you could, just lift and lower. It's a little bit of core strengthening, back strengthening, getting that whole 3-dimensionality of the back body. 3 more if you've got it in you there. Good. Okay, 1 more. Nice. Okay, then little crocodile again, palm over palm, turn the head to one side, bend the knees, rock the knees side to side. Release the lower back. And then we're going to roll on over, press up to sitting, let the blood pressure equilibrate. Take a moment, breathe, and then when you're ready, come to standing, okay? Take your time. You're going to need your blanket and your blocks. We'll all meet shaking everything out. I'm just going to set this back a bit. Okay, good. Little loose coat sleeves to release the lower back. Good, maybe. And then slow that down. Place the hands on the belly and do from your lower belly. I'm not going to mirror this because I don't want to mess my belly up. Go from clockwise massage on your belly. So from low to high, clockwise. All right, a couple more. Just notice how you feel. Pay attention. Listen to the enteric nervous system, okay? All right, so we've got our blocks here in front of us. We're going to do some forward folding that's going to strengthen the core, stretch the hamstrings, and massage the belly, all right? So a lot going on here with this. So find your blocks and come to your mountain pose. You can use a chair or a counter or whatever you need if you don't want to go quite as deep. All right, so we're going to start in mountain pose. Feel the feet rooted and connected. Now let's get some length in the spine, lengthen the abdominal cavity. So reach the arms up overhead, grow tall. Make lots of space. Let things just move around. And then lower the hands down to the heart. Shift the weight to the heels of your feet as we're going to sink into chair pose first. So bend the knees, sink the hips, and then lift back up. Now we're going to do it a little bit differently. I want you to think about the progression of the strengthening of this. So isometrically press your thighs toward each other as if you're squeezing a block. Let that send signals to your pelvic floor and to your core to really engage the core now. So squeeze, lift, draw the belly in, shift the weight to the heels of your feet and sink into your chair. So that core is really working now. All right, keep squeezing the legs toward each other. Now, hands on the thighs, stay in chair pose. And then bend the belly toward the thighs. Let the belly rest on the thighs. And if the hands can reach the blocks, allow the hands to reach the blocks. Head reaches down toward the earth. So the belly is resting on the thighs. Press, use your muscles to press your belly into the thighs. Press, 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 press. Hands come back onto the thighs. Stay in chair legs and press just the upper core up. Lift back up to chair. Hands come back to the heart. Hold it, squeeze those legs, and then slowly lift back up to standing. Whew. Feel the release. We're going to go back into chair and forward fold the same way, but this time we're going to lift and lengthen and straighten the hamstrings up a little bit. Okay, so find your best mountain pose. Isometrically squeeze the legs toward each other. Let that go to the pelvic floor and the core. Shift the weight to the heels of the feet. Sink the hips. Keep that belly strong. Keep the core strong. One more breath here. Hinge from your hip crease now. Bring the belly onto the thighs. Hands stay on the thighs or reach for the blocks. Knees are bent a lot. Allow the crown of the head to release toward the floor. Now shift your weight to the fronts of your feet and start to slowly straighten the knees, taking the belly away from the thigh just a bit. Feel that release of the pressure on the belly. Feel the length in the back of the hamstrings. And then as you exhale, bend the knees, let the belly come back onto resting on the thighs. And with your own rhythm, your own breath, just do that a few more times until you start to find some nice length in your hamstrings. You're not going to get them all the way straight. That's okay. Just moving slowly with mindful awareness. Lifting, straightening the knees a bit. Good. Nice, beautiful. Nice, Verna, good. And then one more time. Next time you're in chair with your belly on your thighs, shift the weight to the heels of your feet now. Bring your hands onto the thighs. Lift the only upper torso up. Hands to the heart. And then press the feet into the earth and come to standing. Shake those legs out. So that one gives you a lot of bang for your buck. If you're going to do a home practice this week, practice that, okay? All right, you ready? We're going to move into a little bit of lunging now. So if you know your feet are having a hard day, either wear your shoes or put something back behind you to rest your heel on. We're also going to go from high to low lunge. So if that doesn't feel like a good idea for you, you're just going to stay in high lunge with hands on the back of a chair or a sofa, something like that. But if you can get your hands down to the block, we're going to lift and lower to high to low lunge. Okay, so that being said, you're going to need your blanket for your knee. Okay. How's your belly? Okay. I can feel it. I can feel things moving around, percolating, as they say, right? Okay, just a human experience. How wonderful to be human. All right, you ready? Let's reach those arms up, get some length and space in your belly. Full breath in, and then exhale, hinge forward, bring your hands to the blocks. We're going to frame the left foot and send the right foot back behind you. So make sure your blanket is in a good place for your knee to drop down. So if you're using a chair, just stay in a nice high lunge. If you choose now, you're going to dip that knee. So we're going to exhale, dip the knee. Inhale, lift that leg back up. Exhale, dip. Inhale, lift. Feel that strength of the front thigh. Good, working hard here. Good, and one more. All right, if you're leaving your leg lifted, gonna try a little twist. If you wanna lower your knee, you can lower your knee. So choose which one, and then bring your, left hand on your hip, left hand on the hip, and then just a gentle twist toward the left. So this is a closed twist, so your belly's probably pressing into your left thigh now. So your knee's either up or down. And then come back to center. Lift that knee back up and send the back foot forward. Hands on the thighs or hands on the hips with the elbows pressed back. Root down through those feet. Come to standing. Get more space in your belly space. Big breath in here. Palms together, hands down to the heart. Let's take a moment. See how you feel. Let's try that other side. All right. Breathe in as you reach the arms up overhead. As you exhale, hinge from the hip crease, bend the knees a lot, hands come onto the blocks. This time we're going to frame our right foot and send the left foot back into lunge. Lift that back thigh bone up, long and tall here from the pelvis to the crown of the head. Isometrically send your front right shin forward. Feel the hamstring fire up. All right, lift and lower a few times if you choose. So bend the knee and tap it back up. Exhale, bend the knee. If you are not tapping, you can always straighten that front knee just to give it a little release. One more time, bend, lift. So either the leg stays lift or you're going to drop the knee down. That right hand comes to the right hip if you feel stable. Lengthen, engage the core, and gently twist toward the right. Elbow presses back. Very nice. Good, John. Nice, Adeline. I can see your shadows. You look good. You're my models. You're my big people. Come back to center. Hands on the blocks. If your knee is down, curl those toes under. Lift the knee up. Send the foot, back foot forward. Hands on the thighs or hips. Root down. Come to standing. Big breath in as you reach the arms overhead. Palms together and hands down to the heart. Ooh, okay. All right, I'm going to stretch now. We've done a lot of compression. Let's do a little bit more stretching. And this is called a standing camel pose. You have these muscles that run up the back of the spine. If your arms reach, you can make fists, place them right above the pelvic rim on either side of the spine and press in and up. And that's going to engage those erector spinae muscles. So you press in towards your back and press up. And those muscles are going to go, oh, I just woke up. All right, soften your knees and then press in and up as you elbows press back, lift up through your heart space. So you're supporting your lumbar spine. We're not arching the lower back. We're going to open up through the thoracic spine, stretch the belly muscles long. One more breath here. It's hard to breathe. And then release that. We're going to try that one more time. Shake your arms out. All right. Hands in position. Fists. Press in and up. Elbows back. Knees bend. Heart lifts. Standing camel pose. One more breath. And release that. Shake it out. Okay. Move the blocks and the blanket, please. You're going to, if you like to do warriors using a wall or a chair, please have that available. Otherwise, your mat is clear and you're going to be using the length of your mat. All right, so you're going to be turning lengthwise on your mat because we go into warrior poses. So let's start with a nice wide stance. All right, I'm going to take something back here. I do want to do a wide forward fold. So sorry, bring your blocks in front of you for a nice wide forward fold. Sorry about that. Okay, now take a nice wide stance, straddle your blocks, roll the shoulders back. All right, so I want you to think about here, lifting from the pelvis, between the pelvis and ribs. So growing that space a little bit longer from the pelvis to the ribs. You're lifting up out of the hips. Turn your left toes toward the short end of the mat and kick your right heel back. Turn your collarbones from your ribs to face the front long edge of your mat. Sweep the arms out to the side. And then take a gentle bend to that front knee. See if you can't get your knee and your inner thigh to open up a little bit more. So those front toes are facing forward and your knee is more in line with your front foot. Good adjustment, John, good. Turn the palms facing forward, roll the shoulders back. We're gonna do archer's twist. So that right palm is gonna twist, you're gonna twist and turn so your palms are clapping right on left, and then slide your right hand down your arm across your chest and open back up. Inhale, lengthen, keep that space between pelvic and ribs. Exhale, twist palms together. Inhale, pull that bow and arrow, send a little love arrow to somebody and open up. One more time, inhale, get long. Exhale, twist toward hand to hand. Inhale, pull that love arrow. Exhale, shoot it to someone. Lower the hands down and turn your feet facing forward. Press your hands on your low hips again, where your leg attaches to your torso, and press your legs down as you lift up from the torso. Full breath in, hinge from the hip crease. Exhale, hands can stay on the thighs or hands reach for the blocks. Nice half forward fold here. I've got my blocks set up like a T. If you want to go a little bit deeper, go ahead and go deeper. Let's see if we can't walk those blocks or hands over to the right ankle. Now, can you feel the belly pressing in on that right side? Come back to center. Take them the other direction. And back to center again. Bend the knees a bit, hands press onto the thighs, lift back up to standing, and heel toe walk your feet back in to center. Shake your feet out. Let's do a little cross crawl while you're here. Don't trip on your blocks. Little cross crawl just to get some movement. And then go from knee, tapping the knee, to knee, knee, shoulder, shoulder, knee, knee, shoulder, shoulder, knee, knee, shoulder, shoulder, knee. Good. Little cardio action here. Brain fitness one more time. Oh, you guys are moving fast today. Shake it out. All right, take a nice wide stance again, hands on the hips. Get your length, find your space, and then turn the right toes toward the short end of the mat, kick your left heel back. Try to get the toes facing forward. When you take a bend, look down and take a bend to that knee. See if you can't make sure that kneecap is kind of over the top of the foot, open up through that inner thigh. So it's going to be a stretch in your inner thigh. Collarbones face forward. Sweep the arms out to the side. Good. Stay here for a moment. And then turn the palms facing forward, thumbs up. And let's take that left hand and bring it to the right. Pull your Cupid's arrow all the way out. Open that arm out to the side. Big breath in, lengthen. Exhale, palm to palm. Inhale, pull that bow and arrow string. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, palm to palm. Inhale, stretch. Now, a little gentle twist there. Good. Hands to the hips. Turn the toes forward, lengthen. This time we're going to do a twist. So hinge forward, stack your blocks, if you would, to a T. Place your right hand on the block, left hand on your hip. Sweep your left hand around so your palm is on top of your sacrum, on the back of your pelvis. Lengthen your spine. So I'm going to press my right hand into the block. Use that to help me get taller. And then draw that belly in and twist to the left. Elbow presses back. Come back to center. Switch hands. Right hand's on the sacrum, left hand's on the block. Push the hands into the block to lengthen. Belly draws in, twist to the right. Nice. Nice opening. You guys look great. Come back to center and then soften your knees. Press your hands into your thighs. Lift up. Heel toe walk your feet to neutral. All right. Thought you were going to get away from not doing weights today. Grab your weights. Oh. Everybody okay? Doing all right? All right. All right, we're going to start with doing some shoulder, bicep, tricep, and upright row. So I'm thinking you probably want your usual weights, your lighter weights, okay? So for the shoulder rolls, it's also going to be a balance challenge. So you can take your right foot in front of your left foot, all right, and squeeze the legs toward the midline. All right, so this in and of itself is a core strengthener. And yeah, there you go. Give yourself more space if you need to. All right, hands are down by your side. Eye gaze is in its drishti because this is balance. So you want to look at something that's not moving. Now just draw your shoulders up towards your ears and back down and around. Just a few shoulder rolls, big shoulder rolls with your weights. Allow the weights to really help those shoulders lengthen. Good, 2 more. All right, now can you switch feet? Bring the other foot in front. Continue to roll those shoulders out. Squeeze those legs toward the midline, even if they're not touching. Isometrically draw them toward the midline. Good, nice and easy. What happened to your core? Keep the core drawn in. Good, 1 more. Very nice, good. All right, now we go to biceps. So biceps, remember, we like to do facing you, and then supine, remember, like you're holding a bowl of soup, turn the palms forward and then bring the fingertips to the shoulder, lower them down and turn them back around. The bicep does both these actions. It turns your forearm, helps your forearm turn, right? So it's a nice smooth rotation of the weights, palms facing away from you and then fingertips touching the shoulder. Now, can we add on to that? If you choose, shift your weight to the heels of your feet, sink into a little chair, and then lift back up, lower the arms down. Good. Sink into chair, and those sitting bones back. You should be able to see your feet. You should not feel this so much in your knees. All right, 3 more. Keep the core strong. Doing weight standing up is so good for your bones, but will also strengthen your core and on the muscle you're working as well. Okay, let's do some biceps out to the side this time too. All right, so take them out to the side a little bit. We're just going to do 8 of these a little faster. Biceps are complicated little muscles, aren't they? They do a lot of work for us. All right, good. Okay, let's come into a little bit of a warrior 1. So step your right foot back at a 45-degree, nice wide base of support with a gentle bend to the front knee. Now you want more bang for your buck, squeeze your back glute and isometrically send your front shin forward. That will scissors your legs, keep the glute strong. Roll the shoulders back, turn the palms facing away from you, hinge forward so you're keeping it out of your lower back. Nice, good. Now press the arms back, slightly together and release. Back, slightly together and release. Do these slowly if you can. What happened to your glute? Can you do 2 things at once? After I tell you multitasking is a myth, right? Slightly together. Let's do 2 more. And release. Last one. You feel those legs trembling a little bit. Send that back foot forward, shake the feet out. And now we're going to send the left foot back at 45 degrees. Little bend to the knee, squeeze the back left glute, send the front shin forward, hinge forward, roll the shoulders back, press back, together, release, back, together, release, back, together. Good. Connect this movement with your breath. And just to distract you, I'm going to tell you that if you unfolded your colon, it would be as tall as a short person, a 4 to 5 foot person, 5-foot person. And if you unfolded all the surface area of all your intestines, it would fill up half of a badminton court. And the back foot forward. Now that's information you couldn't have done without. All right. Now, let's do this one. I want to just keep our legs still because I want you to really focus on your internal rotation. Try it first with the left arm. So you're at a 45-degree angle, thumb is up. Your arm is lower than your shoulder. And then you're going to internally rotate from the top of the shoulder. Point your thumb down and then back up and lower the arm down. If that internal rotation isn't good for you, don't do it. All right, if that felt good on both arms after you tested them, go ahead and do both if you choose. 45 degrees. Now, do you notice how you really have to keep the core strong here? Don't let it go into the lower back. So set your mountain pose. Don't hyperextend your knees. There you go, Adrian, good. I can watch every little minute move you two make. That's why I can't wait to get back in presence so I can see everybody's little minute facial expressions and grimacing and smiles and all the stuff Zoom makes it hard to see. Good, one more. Lift up, internally rotate and lower, good. Roll the shoulders out. Okay, we're getting close to, you feel that? Come to your fist pump in front of your heart, and then extend like you're holding up, hugging a big bear. These are our bear hugs. All right, take the elbows. The elbows are slightly lower than the shoulders. Press your elbows back. So here we're working the muscles, the trapezius and the rhomboid muscles between the shoulder blades. So squeeze those shoulder blades together and then give yourself a fist pump. Elbows are soft. Squeeze the shoulder blades, pause there for a minute, because that's the muscle that's going to keep you from hunching forward. Don't arch your back on this. Keep the core strong. Let's do 3 more. 2. What other fun facts do I have for you? 3. Good. All right, lower the arms down, roll the shoulders out. Okay, I don't know if any of you are tennis players, but we're going to do a little backhand and forehand. So we're going to take the left weight and the palm is facing forward out to the side at a 30-degree angle from your body. And then press it back a little bit like you're going to, this forehand, right? Wait, yeah, sort. I mean, not really, but it's a diagonal reach. So you're going to go from the far left corner to the upper right corner, but no higher than your shoulder, okay? If any of you play tennis like this, I think we'll probably have a problem, but I don't play. Every time I tried to play, the ball would go over the net. Oh, not over the net, over the fence. Because I was a racquetball player. All right, 2 more. And it's a totally different swing. Good. Okay, let's do the other side. So you're at that little outside angle, and then no higher than the other shoulder. This is working more your deltoid. So those muscles are typically a little bit weaker for some, so you might want to stay with your same weights. 2 more. Last one. Okay, now take your left hand across your body. We're going to start low and go a little bit higher. So start low and go high. If you have any pain in your shoulder, only go as far as there's no pain. So we're going diagonally in front of our body, kind of like a backhand. 3 more. 2, good. All right, 3, nice. And then the other way. Other arm starts in front of you, over on the left side, sweeps out to the right diagonal. I'm wondering if you've noticed any increase in strength, if any of you have increased your weight that you're using. If you're doing some of these, maybe it motivates you to do it 3 times a week, which is the recommendation for strengthening, really working those bone cells, reducing that risk of osteoporosis. Last one. Good. And then roll the shoulders back. All right, if you got one more in you, this is a challenging one. Come to goal post. So palms are facing out, elbows are lifted, shoulders are back. This is going to be a lighter weight. Now bring the arms in front of you so that they're in line with your shoulders. See if you can see me. I'll get a little closer. Now lift the elbows up so elbows are in line with the ears, and do a triceps press. So reach the arms up, press back, reach up, press back, reach up, and then come back to elbows in front of you, and then out to sideward goal post. Those goal post, front, lift the elbows up, triceps press, 1, 2, 3, back to goal post in front of you, out to the side, one more time. Goal post out, in front, elbows lift, tricep lift 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and lower back down. Whew. Roll the shoulders out. All right, come on down to your back now, okay? Yay. Oh, everybody doing okay? Happy bellies, happy arms. My arms are kind of sore now. Okay. All right, so come to your constructive rest. And let's all meet doing our clockwise belly rub. Bring your hands to your belly, just breathe, take a moment to notice, let the spine release down toward the earth. This is some loving kindness to your gut. That very smart second brain with as many neurons as your spinal cord. Sends and receives messages, tells us when you're full. And here's a fun fact. Most people by the time they're 5 have lost their ability to recognize when they're truly full because their parents are saying, eat this, eat that, clean your plate. And they lose their natural ability to know satiation. So here's a thing, challenge for you this week is to pay more attention, be mindful of when you're actually satisfied. And then stop, unless you're trying to gain weight. If you're trying to maintain or get to your happy weight, then pay more attention to those signals that your smart second brain is saying to you. Another breath in, breath out. And let's bring the knees into the chest and press the thighs into the belly and give it a little massage. And we're going to press just the right leg in. So hold the right leg in, extend the left leg out, press it into the side of the belly, and we're going to hold it for 10 or 12 seconds here. Give a little pressure, a little compression. And then switch. Just breathe as you press the thigh. As you inhale, the belly presses into the thigh. As you exhale, a release. That same sponge effect. All right. Bring the feet down. Let's do some bridging. So bring the feet as close to the buttocks as comfortable for your knees. Arms down by your side and snuggle your shoulder blades behind your back. Press the heels of the feet into the earth, the backs of the arms. Make sure the chin is not pressed into the chest as you lift the hips and torso. Now squeeze the glutes and isometrically send your shins forward. Feel the energy building up in the legs. And see if you can't find a way to take a a little breath in the belly. This is an inversion, all right? So anything going on the right side up that ascending colon, it's getting some gravity to help it go on up there, right? To the transverse colon. And just let it have a little time to move that stuff up. And then go ahead and lower back down. Give yourself a squeeze. Both feet together. Squeeze, 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 massage. And let's do another bridge. All right. Arms by your side, palms face you. As you're ready, press the backs of the arms and the heels of the feet. Send your shins forward, squeeze your glutes. Take a breath in. Try to create space in your belly cavity. And release. Now bring the hands underneath the knees. Take the legs out to the sides of your body. All right, this is wind releasing pose. So just let it fly. Let there be effect of your practice today. Let the thighs press into the belly, belly into thighs. Another breath here. Lower your feet back down to the floor as wide as the mat. Take your arms to a T and slowly rock the knees side to side. And here's a gentle twisting of the core. And next time you find your knees to the right, leave them to the right. And if you want to get more of a stretch in your left quad, your left hip flexor, put your right ankle on top of your left knee and gently press down. If that doesn't feel good, don't do it. Now, so here on this left side is your stomach exposed, lifted. All right, you can give it a rub if you want. Think of all the stuff it has to digest. Just take a nice breath in. Exhale, release. And take the ankle off the knee if it was there. Lift one knee up, followed by the other. Rock them side to side, and we'll take them the other direction. Now here the right side of the body is exposed. If you want to put your ankle on top of your left ankle on top of your right knee, you can. And this right side of your body is that ascending colon, the cecum, where the small intestine goes into the large intestine, and your liver. Take a nice breath in. Liver, sometimes they say holds on to anger. I don't really know what all that's about with yoga, but nice metaphor to think about, taking a chance to release any anger. Feel it, notice it, allow it. If it comes up, anger can cause disruption in your digestive system. That taps into that fight or flight, right? All right, release the ankle off the knee. Rock the knee side to side again. And then bring the soles of the feet and take the knees apart into Baddha Konasana. So the soles of the feet are together, the knees are out to the side. Hands on the belly. Let's allow a gentle pressure of the belly onto the hands. Feel the gentle rise and fall of the belly pressing into the hands. See if you can make a little vow to yourself to pay more attention to the mindful senses that you're being more mindful of the senses that are sent to your brain through your belly brain, paying more attention to the cues it's sending of hunger, thirst, fullness, nervousness. Use the breath to shift that sympathetic to parasympathetic. And as you're eating, being more mindful of taste, sensation, texture. Taking away all electronics while you're eating. And finding gratitude for the food in front of you and the work that it took to get it from point A to point B to your table. And take your hands to the sides of your knees, lift your knees back up together. Give yourself one more nice, juicy, spongy hug, pressing the thighs into the belly, belly into the thighs, press and hold for 15 seconds. Oh, shoot, legs up the wall. Okay, and then if you want, you can shift yourself over to your wall or your chair and do some legs up the wall. If you've never done legs up the wall, if you're comfortable, I'm sorry, I forgot I wanted to do that. Stay where you are and just go into Shavasana. But if you're really looking forward to legs up the wall or legs on a chair, now is a good time to shift over to the wall and get your hips as close to the wall as you can. And then simultaneously lift your legs and rotate your head toward the front edge of your mat and allow the legs to rest on the wall. And you can spend your Shavasana or 2 or 3 minutes of your Shavasana like that. And when you're ready to come down, just coming out the same way, bending the knees and rolling over, pressing up. I owe you a better legs up the wall, I'm sorry. Legs on the chair is lovely too. Some of you may even like putting a block under your sacrum and lifting your legs up long. Again, an inversion pose for increased circulation in that digestive tract. Wherever you are, however you are, let's take a moment to just soften into the position you've chosen. Allow the breath to be steady, easy. Spine to release and relax. And let go of the conscious breath and allow the breath to breathe itself. Take a nice breath in. Long breath out. Take a moment to notice how you feel. If you feel ready to come out of Shavasana, or if you just want to hang out a little bit longer, that's okay. If you're ready, go ahead and start wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. Gently turn your head side to side. Bend your knees, rock your knees back and forth. And finally, roll over onto your favorite side and use your hands to help you press up into a seat that's comfy for you. And pay attention to the seat that you picked and notice if it's a seat that supports your digestive system, if it's long or scrunched, and then just paying a little more attention to that throughout the course of the week and how that does affect your digestion. The hands are available. Bring your hands to your heart space, finger to finger, palm to palm. Thank you so much for allowing me to facilitate your practice today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week and that you feel good and things get moving in the right direction. Now bow your head to honor your own practice and then blink your eyes open and greet your Sangha with Namaste. Namaste, everybody. Namaste. Namaste. Have a wonderful week. If you have any questions, I'll be here a few minutes. So let me know how you feel.